This is always fun. Oh, slides in so perfect. Yeah. If you'd like to follow the process of turning a block of wood like this into a guitar like this, then you've come to the right place. And if you would like to see me give this guitar away, click subscribe, hit the bell. So this part is not tapered, this part is tapered. Oh, slide in so perfect. So I just like the neck heel to be rounded like this. And I was trying to figure out what kind of a headstock I want on, and I think I came up with this. Well, I may have run into a little bit of a snag in calling these the Horizon, and ESP has some Horizon guitars. Welcome to Minnesota in March. Welcome to Let's Build a Guitar. Now you know why I build guitars in my basement in Minnesota. About 6 to 8 inches last night. 2 days ago it was 74 degrees in Minnesota. One day you wear a parka, the next day you put on shorts. Sometimes the guy just needs to work on guitars when he's wearing a sweater. At least when I'm not doing a lot of sanding or things that are kicking up sawdust. I've come to the point now where I'm going to be working on putting the guitar neck onto this body. It's just temporarily being put on there so that I can line everything up so that I can route my holes for my pickups and just start to get this put together on the body. And so to do that, a couple things that I just want to say that if you're new to this, things that you want to think about as you're going to do this. Now I have decided I'm going to use a neck plate. This is just a temporary neck plate. I've got some on order, but I'm going to use a neck plate on these. I've still rounded my heel like I like it, but I decided because I'm close enough to these edges that I really didn't want to use the ferrules because they'll be just a little too close to those edges. I think I could probably get by with it, but I'm going to go with the neck plate instead. And but if you're a beginner, things that you want to really think about are, before you put things in, check to make sure that your screw isn't too long, that it's going to come through your fretboard, or that it could even potentially push up on one of your frets. You just want to make sure that your screws are not too long, so check that. And then the other thing is, when you're putting these screws in, I'm going to start off using a drill, but I'm not going to tighten it down because I don't want to break these off inside. And sometimes with a drill with a lot of torque, you can get it too tight way too quick and you can break a screw off in there, which I've done. You don't want to do that. Another trick is sucrets. Not really sucrets, but it is the box I'm holding soap in. I'm going to take a little bit of soap. And this was something that I learned again from my shop teacher way back in not junior high, it would have been high school, I guess. Maybe 10th grade, I suppose. Mr. Bellows, take some bar of soap, run the threads of your screw on there, and that just helps lube it up as it goes in. Now I've got these holes on here big enough that it should slide through pretty well. It's going to be just a little bit snug, but not too snug. So let's go ahead and get these put together. Then I will just go ahead and tighten up by hand tightening these screws. I just want to snug them. I'm not going to crank on these. I'm going to do a little bit of work on this neck here yet. I left this a little bit long, and now what I can do is draw a line here so I can see where I'm at with it, and then I can sand that part off and shape that in there. But otherwise, I think it'll feel pretty good. So now I'm going to go ahead and get a center line here again between these two. Now that I have the neck situated on there and I've drawn my lines to see where I'm at, I've got a line right here and a line right here, and then I've got a center line showing where the center is, and this should all be nicely in line with my neck. Now that I've got that in place, now is when I can go ahead and route my pickup cavities and get my bridge posts, or get the bridge. But I got to figure out what bridge we're going to use yet. So we should go to the computer and try and figure out what bridge to use. I think I'm going to do one of these in gold and one in black is my thought. As I'm going through looking for, I'm on Reverb looking for the Schaller non-tremolo bridge that I think I want to go with, which is this one right here. So it's a brass bridge, adjustable string spacing, actually spaces up, down, side to side. So really kind of a nice bridge. So I'm gonna get, I think I'll get one of those in gold and one in black like this one here. Now, if I just could reach in and grab it. Hey, that works out pretty decent. It's a whole lot cheaper too that way. Nice. Actually, it's about a week and a half later, and this is the magic of TV. You should see what I can do with a quarter and your ear. Not really. Well, why don't you know what? I've changed my mind on something. I was going to use the back plate. I'm going to take the back plate off. I'm going to over-engineer this, and I'm actually going to both glue and screw. I'm going to put a piece of dowel in here. I'm going to make this so that it's much more sleek on the back, because I like these to feel really good as you come down up to the neck. So I've been told I over-engineer this because I could just do a glued neck, but I will glue it. I will also have screws in it, and I will put a dowel in there. And then, so you will see 4 little dowels in here, but this is going to be a whole lot sleeker, and it's going to play a whole lot nicer. You noticed that I have been working on 2 of these Union Jack bodies, but at this point I'd only purchased 1 neck to work on, and got that headstock pretty well sanded off now, the way I want it shaped. I like it. I kind of like it. Like the simplicity of it. Like I said, a little bit similar to a PRS type, just a nice little scoop and just the nice contours. I like the simplicity. So it'll be, just basically that's what it is with that. And I think for this body design, because I've been working on this body design, it should be obvious to most of you that know guitars that there is a similarity to maybe other certain guitar called a Rickenbacker. But the Rickenbacker, this horn comes out further, and then this comes up more and is more of a steep turn here. And so I like that Rickenbacker shape, but I wanted to do something, of course, just a little bit different. So smoothing that edge out, changing this horn a little, and obviously the contour and everything is very different from a Rickenbacker bass, and doing it as a guitar. But I like that general shape. So that's what I've been going with. And then, like I said, got this neck that I've been working on. I think it looks good. I'm happy with it. But for the other one, I had this other idea. Because again, I'm giving these guitars away, so I've got some parts on hand, and I've got a neck that is actually a Strat style neck, but it's got this beautiful bird's eye maple on it. And the other day, I set that on here, and I know there's guys that just, they don't like the fact that, okay, well, I've got a Strat type neck, but not a Strat body. But you know what? I think this is gorgeous to put these 2 together. Now, I wouldn't do this. I'm not going to move forward doing this neck with this body. I'm going to be using these necks with this body. But for a guitar to give away to somebody, this is a beautiful neck with a great body. It would definitely be a one of a kind. And so I'm thinking that I might do that with the gold hardware on this, and then I might just drive a whole bunch of people crazy right now. Because nothing like a conglomeration. But what about a conglomeration of not quite a Rickenbacker body, not quite a Fender Stratocaster neck, and then pickups, Filtron pickups like you would see in a Gretsch. So, which these are actually Gretsch pickups. I'm thinking of doing one like this. And while there might be some complaints from some people about me putting these things together, I bet that there's somebody out there that wouldn't mind getting this guitar. Now it's time for one of your guitar stories. This is from Christopher Yu, and he says, "Hi Steve. First of all, I want to say that I really appreciate your work. Thank you so much." He says, "I live in Italy in a small village in the Alps. I've been a Prince fan from 1986, 1987, and I started playing guitar in 1990. I've always loved the cloud guitar since I first saw it, all the different colors that appeared, and after a few years, I had put the guitar aside, and then I started playing again and also got passionate about building guitars. In 2017, 2018, I purchased a Chinese cloud copy, and the cloud guitar has become an obsession. Till one day I decided to build one. I started to create the guitar from ground zero, started by doing small jobs on other guitars, painted some bodies, painted a guitar, and changed out some necks. I had a piece of fir wood that was over 20 years old in my garage, so I searched on the web for the measurements of the original cloud, and I made some technical drawings, and later I started to make templates. It was all instinctive, and I used few tools: a drill, a jigsaw, a milling machine, a Dremel, rasps, sandpaper, and little else. And that's about all I've used with the ones that I've built as well. I'm getting a few more tools here and there, but you can do this with very few tools. So he says, I worked in my house, which is a very small 30 square meters. I started in September and I finished in December of 2020. I decided to make the guitar by assembling the body to the neck, two-piece, and using screws. I was inspired by the Edwards ESP cloud because I didn't know how to properly glue the neck with the body and didn't know how to set the neck tilt. So I started by cutting wood with the jigsaw, and after I made the housing of the neck, pickups, electronics, I wanted to make the housing of the neck pickup like the original cloud and not like the Schecter Chinese copies. Those copies, the Schecter and Chinese, at least what I'm familiar with, is that they set the pickup in from the top, whereas the original goes in from behind, from the back of the body. And so that's what he has done there. He says, then I started to smooth the sides with rasps and sandpaper. I purchased a neck that was already made with the technical specifications of the cloud. Unfortunately, I couldn't make one from scratch. Then I cut the neck headstock, and I made the spiral patterns by hand with Dremel and abrasive paper, except the body where I used a template. Let's see, I need to scroll down a little bit here. Then I put my neck on with the body and the bridge, and I started to smooth with the sandpaper from 100 grit to 3000 grit. I painted it first with primer and then with peach paint. And then I attached the stickers of the spades to the neck, and then I used a transparent vinyl paint. I polished everything with the polish. The guitar is not perfect, but it sounds good. I installed a cheap bridge, but I hope to someday change that out. Okay, Steve, I hope you've enjoyed my adventure in building my guitar. One day I want to build a new blue cloud and a C model, which those C models are really cool, but man, that'd be a challenge, I think, to do that one. Waiting for your new episodes. Best regards. And from Christopher Yu. So thank you, Christopher, for your guitar build story. What a joy to just be able to see how other guys are building their guitars and gals, and the mistakes that you make, the way you fix it, how you work around some of the challenges. That's fantastic from all levels of skill. I want to see your guitar build story. So if you'd like to send in your guitar build story, look at the notes down below and it'll tell you how you can submit your story, about 300 to 600 words and some pictures, to me at my email address, and maybe we can share your guitar build story. Well, thanks so much for checking into Let's Build a Guitar one more time. And if you would like to partner with me on building some of these guitars, helping me to give some of them away, I would appreciate it if you would check out my Patreon page and see how you can help support these giveaways. Next time, we're going to do more work on that Union Jack guitar. We're going to go ahead and route out the pickup cavities and the electronics control cavity on the back, and hopefully get the neck put on and start to shape that neck heel. And I'm going to show you how I'm going to do that. It's kind of different and probably over the top for what a lot of guys would do. So check in next time. You guys keep fighting for joy. See you next week.